Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome on the it's totally not a Monday Night Live show, Monday Night Lights live show.
You need that little Lego movie thing where it's like Taco Tuesday, but on a Friday. It's Monday night, but it's always Tuesday night. Maybe we just change the name.
Yeah, we might just have to. Tuesday night seems to work out better as far as everybody's availability.
Yeah.
We were hoping we could get Travis on here tonight, but he is in the middle of a big move and working and all that stuff with Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. So shout out to him. He is a sponsor of this show. Make sure you check out the link provided for you down below. You guys know the routine by now. They offer it's the best service around in Central Arkansas. I mean, they're better than best results, hundreds of 5-star reviews, free estimates, quality parts, emergency service 24/7, 365 days a year. Go show them some support, man. Local business. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company in Central Arkansas. And of course, Patreon supporters. I think we ran out of time. I don't know if you could still sign up for the month of June for these cards. Corliss Williamson autographed in gold pin, baby. If you're a Patreon supporter, you're going to have a shot at winning that if you're legendary status. We have 3 autographed cards: Dennis Johnson, Kobe Hamilton, and Corliss. So, yeah, you're did we lose Tim? Oh, did we lose you?
Kicked me off.
I did?
All of a sudden it was like, get out of here.
Oh, wow.
It was just like, you're done.
See you later. StreamYard's like, forget that Tim guy. We don't want him in here. That's weird. I wasn't even. Well, I've got Athlon preseason magazine in front of me along with Lindy. So maybe when I opened up the magazines, maybe I accidentally hit a button or something that kicked you out. Hey, do us a favor, everybody. Make sure you please share. Sharing is caring. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. It's hot outside. So maybe you're in your car, you're somewhere that's really well air conditioned. Kick back, watch the live. Plenty to talk about today. So let's start off first with the fact that neither one of these preseason sports magazines, maybe I talked about this last week, I don't remember, but oh my God, dude, they do not like Arkansas whatsoever.
I don't think anybody likes Arkansas right now. I don't think Arkansas likes Arkansas right now.
Arkansas, so they had the 2024 record. Of course, they got that all pinned in here, but then the SEC prediction is 13th. Their national forecast, and this is probably a spoiler alert. I know there's some people that I talk to that are in my Discord that still buy these magazines. The national forecast, they have them at 39th, which isn't as bad as Lindy's. Lindy's has Arkansas. Oh no, I lost my placeholder. Dang it. They've got Arkansas at like 63rd or something in the country, dude. Oh no, 61.
That seems fair.
You think that's fair? 61?
Oh, I 100% think that's fair.
So, and then right behind them is Vanderbilt at 63rd.
I don't know, man. I might put Vanderbilt ahead of Arkansas. Did you watch both teams last season?
I did. I watched Diego Pavia. I watched him play quite a bit. In fact, I probably watched Vanderbilt as much as any other team that wasn't Arkansas last year.
I probably enjoyed watching Vanderbilt more than I enjoyed watching Arkansas, except the Tennessee game.
Well, I think Arkansas had a couple of pretty good games. The Tennessee game was obviously the one that we hang our hat on.
I enjoyed quarters. I enjoyed moments of Arkansas football.
A half against Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt, pretty fun. Him and Taylen Green, their numbers are identical on PFF. Like, they're very similar. They give Green the nod as far as a runner. I would argue that Green is probably one of the better running quarterbacks in the SEC.
Sure.
But as far as like all this passing stuff, it's it's not bad. His PFF stuff is not bad. His analytics are not terrible. It's just the turnovers and the lack of passing touchdowns that really, really affect him. So yeah, these preseason magazines do not like Arkansas very much. Athlon is they've at least got, I think Athlon is more, I think it's accurate, but I still think they might be, I don't know that I'd put them in the 30s. I'd probably, I really don't know.
Man.
See, that's not me. That's him. He's having connection issues. That's too funny. He's blaming me. It is him. I'm not touching the keyboard, and he's back. And he's back.
Maybe that's me, I guess. I don't know, man. What the? thinking I saw a Razorback basketball player post on Twitter, and I'm not remembering who it was, and he said I pick Arkansas to win 9 games this season in football, and I'm like, that's why you play basketball.
Wait, who said that? Oh, Harris.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had Arkansas at 10-2, right?
Yeah, 9-3 or 10-2. I was like, man, that's why you were a basketball player, Alondos.
That's sipping the Petrino.
A lot of people in the comments were like, dude, you forgot the pass part of puff pass.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
So they have Tennessee, and this is what's surprising. Athlon Magazine. Auburn is at 27, which I don't have a problem with. Missouri at 29. That to me is too high. Yeah, Tennessee at 32. And of course,
they lost their quarterback. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah. Well, Joey Aguilar, of course, they swapped quarterbacks with UCLA. Aguilar does have Aguilar, however the hell you pronounce that last name. I struggle with the AGU. But I mean, he's a good quarterback, but I don't know that, like, Nico Umaliava had the higher ceiling. I don't know that Joey brings much more than just experience coming out from the West. I don't know. I don't. They've got a fair amount of returning starters on defense, which probably gives Tennessee a little bit of an edge there. They're returning like half their it's like 80% of their front six is back, and like their entire secondary is back. So and their numbers on defense were really good. So I might put them a little higher. I just don't think I'd put them in the top 25. But the again, A&M is at 34. And Arkansas and Vandy towards the back at 61 and 63. Kentucky Wildcats at 64. Sorry, Peanut Butter Posse. Your Wildcats really only play one sport. And oh my God, Tim. His internet. And I don't have a screen. I don't have anything to plop on the screen here. So it's just going to be me. But Kentucky Wildcats at 64th, and Mississippi State all the way back at 84th. So it's crazy. The Sophie and Lexi show. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're watching, Peanut Butter Posse. Sorry about Arkansas can relate. We're also not going to be, football's not going to be their thing this year, I don't think. Tennessee brought in a game manager. Our new GM will bring in the top 10 talent next year, says Johnny Jones. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did you guys watch that interview? Did you get a chance to watch that? That was I don't know that I got anything out of that other than him being asked about God, what was it towards the end? It was the guy that's on 921, the radio station up here in NWA. I don't know his name. He's got a real radio voice. But he asked a really good question. I don't remember what it was. But I thought that was the only thing that he answered. Contracts. He talked about contracts. That's what it was. So he had a pretty good response. He didn't want to give up much. I don't know. Do we know what this guy's role really is? It just sounds like he's just gonna help with rules, I guess. I don't know that I got anything. I don't know that I got anything out of that. Other than I'm just here to basically make the coaches happy. Oh, Tim's back, but I don't see a screen. Tim, you're still lagging, buddy. This might just be a solo show after all. Go reset your router or plug in directly into your modem or something. Travis doing Sam's laundry. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just didn't get much out of that interview other than I'm just here to help, basically here to facilitate and play good cop, bad cop with the players. Give them the kind of information that they may not want. So yeah. Did you reset your router?
I restarted my computer.
Oh, okay. It happens.
Hopefully that's fixed that disaster. I had so many funny things to say too. You guys just don't know how funny I am.
Well, you just missed out, everybody. It's
all lost now.
That's all right. Taylen Green will not make the field as a pro quarterback. If he was a receiver, this is BT Bates, who's become. I'm pretty sure that this is someone in our Discord. He certainly speaks a lot like Someone in our Discord. Taylen Green will not make the field as a pro quarterback. If he was a receiver, he could be a possession receiver out in space making plays. I'm not, I've said before, if he gets drafted, I think I could see him being like a 7th rounder and simply a team taking him because he's like an experiment. Like maybe, they do it all the time. I mean, look at Felipe Franks in Atlanta. They moved his ass to tight end. AJ Derby was another example. Of course, Derby was moved around positions here as well at Arkansas, but I could see them doing that with Green simply because of his athleticism, because of his size, being 6'5", 6'6". Maybe
what's missing from pro football is kind of a farm league where you could actually experiment with a guy like Taylen Green.
Yeah. Well, I guess you kind of had arena football back in the day, and that's how the Rams ended up with Kurt Warner. But I don't know very many guys out of arena league that made it to the NFL.
Right. I'm just saying. There's a ton of guys in farm league baseball who never get called up.
Oh yeah, they get moved around.
But you could experiment with a guy like that, maybe. I guess you've got XFL sort of.
It seems like what he is. I don't know that you're drafting him purely because he's like he's not a great quarterback. I would say he's a serviceable double-edged sword. He can make big plays, but then he turns around, he fumbles the ball, he struggles in high pressure situations. Pretty good outside the quarterback. I mean, he can kind of make it up as he goes. He could certainly throw the ball downfield without having his feet leveled on the ground, which is very impressive. It seems like he's got a lot of mechanic issues. I don't know that a team wants to roll the dice on him as a legit backup quarterback or not. Then again, we're saying all this not really knowing if Taylen Green got the off season, the development side of things. We don't know. I mean,
he went to the Manning camp.
Yeah, to be a counselor. That's an all-timer moment on this live. I swear to God. We were like, wait a minute, what? But yeah, I guess who knows? I mean, he wasn't atrocious last year. I mean, after all, 3,700 total yards of offense, 25 touchdowns total. I mean, he was a serviceable quarterback, and you can argue he was the reason why you won some games, but he's also the reason why you struggled to win some also.
Yeah.
With his fumbling.
Yeah, I think we say this and say this and say this. It's hard to know how good he really is because we don't have an offensive line. We haven't had an offensive line. And you always throw everything on the quarterback's shoulders when it comes to the offense. But at the end of the day, if he's running for his life, put him on a team where he doesn't have to run for his life. What happens? I don't know. I don't know if he's really that good or not.
That's fair too. Like it's really easy to judge a guy when he's running for his life.
Yeah.
And he certainly was doing that. But he again, his ability to kind of make stuff up outside of the pocket is impressive. His athleticism is impressive. I don't know. Someone brought up a good point to me not long ago. They said, I wonder if this is another, and I scoffed at it, but kind of thinking about it, I could kind of see a resemblance there. But is this another Matt Jones situation where you got a guy who probably could get drafted, probably not in the first round, but could get drafted as a receiver at that size and maybe sub 4.4, 4.5 speed. And he's an athlete, I don't know. Matt Jones actually had some history of playing receiver in high school. Of course, he ended up playing quarterback, and he would come to Arkansas because they offered him to play quarterback. But I don't know. Who knows?
Is he more Matt Jones willing to switch position, or is he more Tim Tebow not willing? Like, I'm a quarterback. That's it.
Matt Jones, they couldn't get him to switch here. And
I know. But I mean, in the pros, he was willing to take the wide receiver position.
I think he would. I don't know why. Like, if you've got an agent telling you, look, you just dropped what was Matt, 6'6", 242. Of course, he had already decided he's going into the combine as a receiver, but he was 6'6", 242 and ran a 4.3, 840. That's insane. If that were Green, if Green were to drop, let's say they still have him in the draft as a quarterback, but he drops something like a 4.3, 940, and he weighs in at 6'6", 225, 230 pounds, a little lighter than that was. Yeah, you're probably going to have someone in an interview who's like, so how do you feel about playing wide receiver?
Right.
And that agent would be like, look, man, you're not getting offers to play quarterback. You're getting looked at as a receiver. I would imagine you'd want to take that deal. Why not? Because the odds of you getting drafted as a quarterback right now, as it stands, what we know about Green, what we've seen, I don't see him as a top 5 round quarterback. I just don't.
Not remotely. I agree with you.
We'll see if that changes. Petrino does have a, they call him the whisperer. I don't know if it's the same as it was, back in the day. All right. So it begins, chat and Tim. Today, revenue share begins. All teams in the NCAA are allowed an estimated $20.5 million to give to players. Now, I know, Tim, you've got a different point on this.
I do.
And I you've said it before, but I'm, going to let you have the mic here, your point on this in just a second. Here's what we know, or here's what we believe the estimates are going to look like. Football's going to put out about $15 million to these players. That's the estimated amount. That could be wrong. This is based on a couple of different Twitter and websites that I've looked at. I've got a couple of links. I think I can find them, maybe share them. If I don't, I'll try to later, maybe in Discord or something. But football, 14.97 estimated to give to the players. Basketball, I don't know how accurate. This seems low to me, but 4.1 million. In baseball, 1.1 million. And that leaves roughly just under 300,000 in revenue share for the other sports that are listed, which includes women's and everything else. We're going to follow this up with, there's going to be some more information. We're going to talk a little bit about collective bargaining agreement, which is essentially a players union. So I've got something on that, but I want your opinion on this, on these players. Yes, NIL's always been there, or I say always, sorry. It's been there for a little while. These players have been getting paid. Now it's a little bit different. They're not technically employees, but now these schools are paying them as if they were employees. Tim, what's your opinion? What's your thoughts?
What's my thoughts? I mean, I think we've talked about this several times. I think that this opens up contracts. It probably should put some end to the transfer portal, because you're going to want guys, if you're going to pay this kind of money and bring in this kind of athlete, that you're going to contract them in. We're not going to have this guy come in for spring camp and he's gone before spring camp ever happens, and we've signed him to NIL deals and he's walking away with money. I think they've got to lock it down with some kind of contracts at this point.
Okay. So, but you had a different take though in our group chat about players getting paid though.
I did. I don't know what you're referencing.
Well, I don't want to pull up our group chat. I don't believe in sharing text messages. But you definitely are not a huge fan of these players. Like, you don't think it's as beneficial as people believe. And you're not the only one that thinks that, by the way. That's not a crazy thought.
I mean, I don't think they should be getting paid like pros. I'm not saying they shouldn't get some kind of money, but
yeah,
when you start talking $10 million a year or whatever, the joke to me was Travis Hunter last year. At the end of the season going, I'd come back to Colorado if they offer me $40 million. Dude, no. You don't know. No. Go to the pros and make $40 million. At some point you're going to break the universities. You're going to break the system. And maybe that's what they're trying to do, really, is break the system so you can rebuild it. Because that's what's going to happen with salaries. I don't agree with the coaches' salaries being where they are necessarily. I definitely don't agree with players getting $10, $20 million. But maybe that's the design. The design is to break the system, because eventually you can't afford. I mean, you definitely can't afford to play 105 players millions of dollars, and not $105 million to go around.
Yeah, and not only that, but that whole thing about rich getting richer in sports. I mean, my God, how many schools, like you said, how many schools can actually afford to do that?
Right.
How many and then you're going to waste your entire whatever budget you have, which again, they're capped at 20.5 as to what the schools can pay. The NIL, I guess, is going to kind of go back to the way it's supposed to be. There's still so many freaking questions about all this. It's like, I don't understand some of the legal mumbo jumbo. Apparently there's already lawsuit, or this is already looking like some of the stuff is going to get challenged. It's going to get raised to the courts, and some of this is going to be straightened out, and it's going to be kind of a mess. And all of that, fans don't give a shit about. And unfortunately, it's what you're going to read about. It's what, there's always going to be an emphasis on the players and the teams and the coaches and all that. But then also as a caveat, you're also going to have, oh, and by the way, this is going through the legal system this week. We're going to be challenging, whatever. It's going to it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. I was actually talking to Stephen Hamner, aka Quarterback Spotlight, on Marco Polo this week, and he was talking about just the fatigue that he feels that everybody has. And then so now you got the players getting paid officially by the school starting today. You still got whatever the hell they're actually doing with NIL, how that's all being worked out. It's there's still, I guess there's extra steps there, and there's also kind of a cap as to what they can do there, or I guess it's all going to be handed through the Razorback Foundation. But yeah, I don't know. There's so much fatigue already. And then you're adding this to it. Like, fans are just getting tired of this stuff.
Well, I mean, think about it for a second. You already watch Spoiled Pros, and the way that the pro system works. Today, it's just more and more money. When you looked at like a Michael Jordan, he said, we played for championships. We worked hard, and then we got contracts.
Yes.
And now you see these guys go into the leagues, and they're coming in with a $200 million contract before they ever do anything on the floor, whether they make a name for themselves or not. Now you're sticking that in the college game. Now you're going to give them millions of dollars, and they're really an amateur. Most of these guys, what's the percentage that actually makes the league? I don't know that off the top of my head, but it's a pretty small percentage.
Yeah.
And you're giving a bunch of these guys money. One thing you're definitely going to see is, and I think we talked about this, is you're going to see people come out of the woodworks to prey on these kids.
Oh my gosh. Well, they already have, and it's only going to get worse.
Well, I mean, you're going to see these attorneys go, well, now we've got to negotiate with your college.
Yep.
They want you under contract. We're going to negotiate, and I'll take my 50% cut.
Yeah.
Keep going. But I'll manage your money. Great. And he's going to leave college broke and not even go to the pros. And that's going to be bad. I think that's going to be bad news for everybody. Did I lose you? Did you leave the show?
I had to, my stupid desk was like, there we go. I think I got it straightened out.
I kicked himself off the show this time.
Kicked myself off. Yeah. Hey, make sure you guys share the content, please. Retweet the Tusk Talk with Ty Twitter. It is talking season. This was definitely something today. We all saw it coming. This is not a shock to anybody. BT Bates says the system is broke.
It is.
It's broke. And now it's about what kind of duct tape and adhesive are you going to use to glue it all back together? And the casual fan is losing grip. I did an AI search today. Is college football losing popularity? And I've already pulled it off my screen, damn it. But it actually surprised me and said, no, actually ratings are staying about the same. And there are some places where it is dying off, but it's mostly staying about the same, which I was really surprised by. But I think in the coming years, if they don't get this straightened out, it's only going to get worse. Fans do not want this. They don't care about this stuff. And then you add in these huge salaries. They're like, well, this is not the sport that I started watching 15, 20, 30 years ago. So it is, I think you're right. I think it's as close to being broken as it's.
Well, I think it's cracked. It's not fully broken yet. That's the thing. It's going to be broken. It's going to break like a dam, and the floodgates are going to, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And they're going to have to rebuild this whole system because they didn't go through the process of making it, of doing it right the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
It's definitely broken there. I had something in my head and I totally lost it. Well, okay, so part of it, now I remember what I was going to say. So part of it is you watched college sports for the guys who were playing to make the money.
Yeah.
They were playing not necessarily for the love of the game, but for the idea that I can play here to make myself greater.
Yeah.
You know, I will play college and I'll do something great here and that will get me to the pros where I make my money. Now you've got guys who are going to make their money up front.
Yeah.
So and
Another
I
thing,
wonder a little bit when you looked at like Nick Saban went to the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they weren't
Yes,
they weren't
did.
super successful. And Spurrier went to the Redskins, if I remember right, and they weren't super successful. And part of it they said was they got to the pros and trying to coach guys who didn't respect them the same way that the college players did.
That was Petrino's thing, right?
Right. And Petrino's thing as well. Actually, he wasn't all that successful either. And so they moved back to the college game. Well, now you give a whole bunch of millions of dollars to college players, and they also have the right to leave if they don't get their way.
Yep.
Then you kind of ruin that whole thing that got people into college sports in the first place.
Well, that is absolutely right. If you think about it, the college football experience for the longest time was, at least it was this way for me, and I know a lot of fans, a lot of my friends were the same way. You got looped into recruiting. You loved the process of it all. You heard about this guy. Of course, transferring wasn't a thing. They had to sit out. Like, who cares? Like Ryan Mallett had to sit out. And then years later they would change that to, grad students being allowed to, as long as they were super duper seniors, they'd have that. They would immediately be eligible, which kind of cracked the door open for everybody else. But like, that was a part of the experience. Recruiting mattered. I can remember Twitter. Like, I'm not going to say they were, oh my God, we got this 3-star. Holy shit. It wasn't like that, but it was like, oh wow, this kid's really good. Look at his offers. Look at his official visits. Damn, they got this kid. All right, he's a 3-star, but he's out of South Texas. He's out of Houston or the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And he was, offered by A&M and whoever. And he went on an official visit. Damn. Like, I can remember, that's what made me get into all this to begin with, to become a content creator, to talk about the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
And that's gone because of the portal. And then again, you add in the NIL stuff and all the tampering. We know that's happening. And I don't think that fully goes away either. But
I think the portal did more the portal has done more to take away from the excitement for the fans, more for the fatigue of the fans, even than NIL.
Yeah.
Because now you can no longer count on that guy.
Yeah.
Let's say we got Crutchfield and we were excited about it in year one. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Year two, he could be gone. Yeah. So why do you get so excited about it?
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna go play for somebody else who we play on a regular basis and come back and beat us. And why are we excited about him?
Well, I mean, look at Courtney Crutchfield's a really good example of this, right?
Yeah, he went to Missouri and they were excited to have him, and then he's coming to Arkansas, and we're excited, like, okay, we're going to take him and go back and beat Missouri for the first time in 100 years, seems like.
Ever.
But, then he might up and go to someone else who throws him the ball more, especially because he doesn't look like he's cracking the rotation. And how do you get excited about guys anymore? How do you get excited about your team when your team is different?
Bro has got a piece of string with a cup on each end internet. That's what he's got going on. And we're just going to keep it going. Travis says, I like portal season better than I know he's fuming. I know he's mad. Yeah, portal season is way better. Portal season is where it's at. Portal season is where all the fun is happening. I agree, Travis.
I'm gonna burn my house down. I'm gonna burn this fiber line. I have fiber. There's no reason this should be happening.
Are you on Wi-Fi though, or are you on like direct connect right to?
I'm on Wi-Fi, but there's nothing else on my Wi-Fi. My daughter, who would normally take up half my Wi-Fi watching videos, isn't here today. So literally, I'm the only person on the Wi-Fi on a fiber network. Yeah. There is no reason for this.
It's gotta be frustrating.
It's frustrating, let me tell you.
My desk and everything is, I don't know what's going on. It's one of those desks that you can hit a button here and rise it, and it's like it's shaking everything. I don't know what the hell's going on. The hydraulic and it's messed up. This is just a rent a player argument with Turner.
Okay.
I mean, I mean that's what it is. That's what the system is right now.
Yeah.
So so revenue share happens today. I have some pretty interesting numbers here. If you guys want to take a look at this again, please make sure to like and share the content, please.
Make sure you comment too, not just during the video. Comment on the video afterwards.
Yeah, if you're watching this after the fact. I have a question about, we were going to lead into, actually, that's perfect. We were going to lead into CBAs, collective bargaining agreements, which essentially is players' unions. Are you, and I'm asking chat this, I realize this is not entirely nuanced just yet, but basically the question is, and Tim, you can answer this as well, and Travis, you're in chat, all a chat, and after the fact, you guys, I want you to answer this. Are you for or against collective bargaining agreements? And if you can, I know, just think of it, are you for or against players' unions? The NFLPA, they have their players association, their players union. The NBA, all these sports have their players unions. Tennessee's athletic director Danny White has been, I guess he's quietly behind the scenes been pushing this, and he's going public with it. There was a Yahoo article I don't have up in front of me right now, but I do have some of the things that he has said recently, or just kind of like what he believes here. Again, this is Tennessee's athletic director Danny White. Believes collective bargaining is the only viable solution for the current challenges in college sports, particularly in light of the evolving landscape of NIL and athlete compensation. Now, again, just kind of a quick AI search on what it is, and there's some, a little bit of a little mumbo jumbo in here, but bear with me really quick. A collective bargaining in college athletics is gaining traction. Again, this is Google AI as a potential solution to address issues surrounding athlete compensation, health and safety, and other aspects of the student athlete experience. This involves athletes forming unions to negotiate collectively with universities and the NCAA, similar to how professional sports leagues operate. While the concept faces hurdles, including legal and political challenges, it's gaining support from various stakeholders, including some athletic directors like Danny White, and there's several more. More and more ADs are starting to climb on board with this. So you guys tell me, and Tim, I want your opinion on this as well. Are you for or against this? Now, I will tell you, I think it's baked into the NFLPA, which is why Madden has like the system that it has. I'm not saying you should be for or against this for a video game, but it actually helps with Madden. I think it's baked into the NFLPA and their contracts that like they have to agree to it. And basically when they sign their contracts, it's just baked into the deal on the contract, which is why Madden, to me, why it just feels better when you look at like the depth charts and you can kind of do more with them and you can move guys around more and you can actually mess with pretty sure you can even mess with the edit or the players. You can mess with them all. You could change their ratings. You can't do that on EA College Football 2.5, or you couldn't do that. And you guys know, if you followed me for the last couple of years, that's a big deal for me. Being able to adjust the player's number, the players, maybe they got his height wrong, his overall ratings are wrong. And I can tell you, we're going to go over that here in just a minute. Tim, right before we went live, found the entire Arkansas Razorback depth chart or the roster for EA College Football 2.6. And we're going to share that with you here in just a minute. But that basically, from what I understand, helps solidify that for Madden and other things as well. So it does more than you realize, I guess, when they do this. If they get into a collective bargaining agreement, it'll make things moving forward a lot easier. Okay, now I'm done. Tim, what do you think? Are you for or against this?
I think I'm for it. The thing is, I think there are places that unions are good, and I think there are places.
Oh my gosh, dude. I think at this point he ought to probably give up. I don't know. He is Travis, get in here. I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna have to reset your router.
This freaking thing. If I go out again, I'll reset it, but I'll be gone for like 5 minutes. It takes a while to go.
That's fine.
Here's the thing: there are places that unions are good, and places that unions are not necessarily good.
Yeah.
I know. I know in my industry there are a lot of people that are for unions that don't realize that there are options out there that are better. But when it comes to athletics, I think they're a little more important, except when you see what the WNBA is going through with Caitlin Clark and how the league is growing and they feel like they deserve so much more. and their union is going to probably destroy the WNBA, which I know a lot of people don't care about. But that union is probably going to destroy the WNBA.
Yeah. He's gone again. The WNBA is subsidized by I'm going to check this out, chat. Oh, I'm shrieking. The WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. What's going on? I can stand. My desk has a hydraulic system. This works better for the minute. First time we've ever done this on the live show. Oh, Travis says give him the link. Oh, Travis, you want to come in on this? All right. You want to join, buddy? Let me give you the link, bro. There you go. There's your link, Travis, if you can join. At least the teams are subsidizing other teams in the NBA as well. Or a lot of teams are subsidizing other teams in the NBA as well. Oh, okay. I just know they subsidize the WNBA. I know the NBA takes care of the WNBA. Here he comes. Late ass Travis. What's up, man? What do you think of this collective bargaining agreement about CBAs, about the possibilities here that we're heading towards, of course, player contracts are going to be
the only thing that makes it make sense, man.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna stop everybody. Well, it's gonna stop these players from just running prices up insane. What's to stop with the revenue sharing from them raising prices just stupid and going, oh, well, my price is this now, and we know we really need them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think CBA
audio. By the way, is my audio okay?
It's all right. Yeah, no, you sound fine. I mean, chat knows you're on a phone.
It's through my truck. I'm pulling a gigantic trailer right now.
Nice. Danny White, like I said earlier, the Tennessee's athletic director, is quietly trying to bring support to it. I'm all for it. I agree with Tim. There are places where unions are dangerous and can even be corrupt and can create issues for business owners. And, they're not real popular in the South. I think that's going to be the push for these ADs that want this and lawmakers is to because college football is king in the South. How do you convince this part of the country that already isn't exactly pro-union? How do you convince them that this is, you should still watch the sport, right? And I think they will. There might be some politicians who speak out against it, and again, they're not fans of unions, and in some cases, rightfully so.
Well, and I think the last thing players need right now is a union. They've been running the damn show for the last 3 or 4 years. So maybe start signing these contracts before you worry about a union. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sure they're going to need one to protect themselves, but at the same time, it depends on how much power they lose, and that's going to be the drive for them to push for this union, I think.
Well, the programs definitely don't. I don't think it's popular yet with the schools. I think they've got a lot of convincing to do with some other programs around the country. I think trying to sell this is going to be tough. Like I said, especially in the South. I'm for it because I think it's going to push this thing forward. Like Danny White said, it's going to help. We're going to normalize some things, and we're going to move forward. We're going to push past all the challenges that we have right now. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Tim, how's your internet?
I restarted the router, so I guess we'll see. We got Travis Ford on. That's pretty awesome.
What's up, bro?
What's up, buddy? No,
busy life. It's busy life.
I was just gonna say, I think unions have some good power and some bad. I think in this case, it's gonna take that to rein this thing in.
Yeah,
for college sports, it's gonna take it to rein this thing in, and I still believe even with that, we're pushing a broken system until it becomes a floodgate.
Yeah,
honestly, but there'll be contracts. I think if we get the contracts, that'll put kind of an end to the transfers. Maybe instead of transfers, you get trading.
Trading would be sick, dude.
Could you imagine that in college football, being able to trade players? That would be insane.
I mean,
that might calm down tampering a little bit.
It definitely could. We were talking about these schools and the boosters that are involved. They're not as it's a different world when you've got student athletes. I guess at that point you're an employee. Mike says then we'll have to worry about college football strikes.
With temperamental
True.
teenagers too. Temperamental teenagers.
That is fair.
People willing to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Because the people running it are not going to be athletes. There will be athlete representatives for a group of lawyers who are running this thing, who are greedy, blood-sucking, insects. And they'll prey on these college athletes and their temperamentalness, and they'll strike, and it'll get stupid, and that will destroy the system.
Yeah. I think all that's going to happen anyways. I don't know about the players striking because you're not all part of the system. When you're part of the union, you're a part of that system. Here's the estimated revenue. Estimated revenue sharing 2025. Average per player in baseball. I don't know. Again, this is nil-ncaa.com estimates SEC. So I'll share this link maybe in chat here.
Baseball
in a little bit.
Getting 1 million is astronomically low to me.
1.1 million estimated team allocation. Basketball.
At what point do those players of other sports start to get pissed off and demand theirs also?
Yeah. Oh, it's coming, baby. Get ready. Estimated. This is, I don't know about all this. This is not well done because this says basketball. So that must. Oh, that's women's. I bet. Yeah. Oh, okay, my bad. I thought it would say like women's basketball over here, but I see it. The women's are estimated at 72,000 per player on the allocation. Football,
wow.
15 million, 14.9 million average per player. And again, we're talking about this is just the rev share, not bargaining agreements or anything like that. This is just a simple. I'll read it off for you. As part of the House versus NCAA proposed settlement, NCAA member schools will be allowed to share athletic department revenues with their varsity athletes. Come on, not just varsity. Let's be real. Beginning in the 2025-2026 academic year, the initial revenue sharing cap per school is set at $20.5 million. We analyzed the most recent NCAA financial reporting from 6 SEC public universities and arrived at the following revenue sharing estimates. So that's where this is coming from.
So does this mean that these schools are all going to be on the same page as far as pricing?
I don't think so. Not
another question for me because
I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be at like 22% of like I get here it is. These estimates assume. What was that? The estimates assume each school's limits total revenue sharing at 22% of its annual athletic department revenues. This is the percentage utilized in the proposed settlement with the House versus NCAA. Blah blah blah. Anyways, yeah, per player in football, it's 142,000 at Arkansas, almost 143,000 per player. So I don't think every school, but I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. Let me get Travis.
I think I figured it out. I switched browsers.
Oh,
I think the browser kept kicking me off.
Oh, I see.
So,
anyways, that's where we're at with this estimated revenue sharing stuff. I know some of it, this is where people just don't give a shit. We're probably off in the weeds here, and that's fine. But I kind of wanted to go over this. I knew this would be a little bit of a snoozer, this part, but I think some of it's important. I think it's something worth keeping an eye on. But yeah, I mean, football, 54.8% of the revenue right there. You could see it on your screen. At allocations almost at 15 million. So that's the estimated revenue sharing 2025. So there you go.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's air conditioner on a mic. He's talking about Travis.
Yeah.
Player ain't gonna agree to anything that puts a cap on what money. Well, they're not gonna have a choice, I don't think, Steve-O. I mean, I think eventually, yeah, at the end of the day, they're probably actually some of these players are probably going to make less than where we're at now.
Yeah, what's crazy is you're not, even if the players think they will not get to baseball type numbers. Like baseball doesn't have a salary cap. You can sign for hundreds of millions of dollars.
What if they're going to plug in more of the more NIL into baseball?
Arkansas?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Well, I just mean with the depleted, basically, revenue sharing that they're getting, if they're going to plug in more NIL to try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
I don't know.
we're like a higher stature baseball program, so we won't have as much trouble. The football probably needs the money the worst.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We've got some football bowl projections. I was a
Way too
little
early.
surprised by this. College football bowl projections, full list of matchups, playoffs, predictions. This is Brett McMurphy, who just joined on 3, by the way, which is also
Brett
now.
McMurphy jump ship?
Yeah, Brett McMurphy's was on 3.
On 3 must have threw some money at him.
Well, I know they had that rivals merger. It's crazy. This college athletics is, including the media, is also going through some changes as well.
Everybody's a sellout.
Yeah. So he's got there's his college football, the first round. He likes Boise State matched up with Texas, Oregon matched up with LSU. Boy, people are really they're getting on LSU. And I don't know that I buy the Clemson hype either, or Utah.
Either.
Clemson and Utah, and then Miami and Alabama. By the way, Brett McMurphy, I don't know his accuracy. I have no clue, but I like reading his stuff. I mean, I think Brett McMurphy is one of the best in the business. Part of me kind of hates that he joined on 3 in rivals, but whatever. He does like, so the quarterfinals, he goes all the way down here. Ohio State and Texas. And then the Orange Bowl, he's got Notre Dame and Oregon, Rose Bowl, Penn State, Bama. And then we go all the way down to the championship here. He likes Georgia and Ohio State in the national championship, with Georgia being the winner.
I hope Bama sucks again this year.
That's not a particularly surprising pick.
No, it's not really.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, Ohio State's geared up again. My God, they're kind of loaded. We're going to talk about the EA College Football 26 roster, and I saw there's Ohio State has something like 3 of the top 50 overall players on that game on that roster, which doesn't shock anybody. I get that, but I know they're going to be loaded again this year. They are expected to return. Arkansas is on his radar to make a bowl game. He's got them playing on December 19th in the Gasparilla Bowl down in Tampa, baby. Let's go. Virginia Tech. Arkansas and Virginia Tech at the Gasparilla Bowl. Last year, that was
last time.
Arkansas. Arkansas. Hold on, my bad. Florida and Tulane played last year. That was the matchup last year, with Florida winning the game. Right? Am I right about that? Yeah. They won 33-8.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they took care of business. What would you guys think of making the Gasparilla Bowl? And would that be enough? Because Florida had 7 wins in the regular season. If I recall correctly, that was 7 wins. No. Maybe it was 6. Now I want to double check that. Let's say it's 7, and he gets to the Gasparilla Bowl. Would that be enough for Sam to keep his job? And how I guess it's difficult to grade that because we don't know what wins they have to get there. But would that be acceptable?
I think it depends on what games he wins and what's going on behind the scenes. If it's a money thing, if it's a people don't want to come here thing, or if it's literally, you know what I mean? Like, if Yurachek actually believes in Pittman, or Pittman proves it this year, 7-5 is still tough. It's you're never going to get away from that mediocre talk if you're going 7-5, 4-8.
To me, I said this in the last week. 7 is that number. I don't know what they do with 7. And you're right, Travis. There's a lot of variables there. Like, do they beat? Is that 7? Maybe you beat Ole Miss on the road. You beat Notre Dame. Maybe you get an upset on one of these teams like LSU, Texas. If you're winning 7, you're upsetting somebody. It may only be 1 or 2. Last year.
I'm telling you, I think he's going to beat Notre Dame some damn how or another. It's going to happen. And I'm here for it.
Notre Dame's going to be the Tennessee this year?
It's going to be the Tennessee. I'm telling you, man. It's going to be like some crazy Notre Dame, or I don't see Texas or LSU happening, but it'll be a weird one. He always wins a weird one.
You're not wrong. Yeah. I mean, Tennessee was definitely out of nowhere. You go back to 2021 when he beat Texas. I mean, hell, he had a couple of wins that year that were like, wait a minute, they beat who? Like, if you're a casual college football fan, you didn't see that coming. And then they beat Penn State in the bowl game. I mean,
we beat them with 28-year-olds.
So you think potentially we go into Tennessee?
I think 9 is the number to answer your question.
You think potentially we go into Tennessee 4-1, either losing to Ole Miss or Notre Dame, but we're probably taking Notre Dame as the wacko game that he accidentally wins.
Wins.
4-1.
I think beating Tennessee this year isn't as big of a deal as it was last year.
You don't think so? Because of
being that it's in Neyland is the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
But and this is probably all my ignorance. I haven't been following their recruiting, so I don't know if they have a better team or a worse team. I know they probably don't have as good of a quarterback.
Well, they swapped. They basically swapped with UCLA with Aguilar.
And I don't know. I don't feel like it's as big of a deal, but the more we get into it, and depending upon how their year goes too, it may become a very big deal very fast. I'm like, oh wow,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John says he has it on good authority. He's going to have to make a bowl game. I'm here to tell you, six will not be enough to keep his job. I don't know how that happened.
I think it's 8 or 9, man.
It's got I think it could be 7.
Team in recruiting. He missed the top 5 players in Arkansas for next year. He carries a stink with him right now, unfortunately, and the only way out of that is winning.
I wish the top 5 players in Arkansas mattered. We had this conversation.
That is actually reasonable. Also, it just depends on how they.
We had this conversation in the Tusk Talk Discord, and I challenged everybody in the Discord. Name 5 players in the Sam era. Ty, how long has Sam been coaching?
Well, he's going into his 6th
year. Okay, so name 5 players in the last 6 years who were in the top 5 Arkansas high school football players that we did not get that went and made a huge difference somewhere else. Name
in
5.
That same vein, we also have I can't. But in that
right,
same vein,
nobody can because they've not done anything. The number 1 player in Arkansas doesn't go somewhere else and light up anybody's program. They suck.
We have a top-rated wide receiver right now from Arkansas who's not even breaking the 3 deep that I've heard of.
Right. My whole point.
There's that also.
Yeah. That doesn't look good for Crutchfield. That was surprising. I really thought Crutchfield was going to come in and be in the 2 deep at the very least. And the only thing I could chalk it up to.
What the hell happened there?
Well,
I was pumped when we got him.
We got to be fair though. It's not real common that a redshirt freshman of any caliber comes in and just breaks the door down and immediately is a 2 deep or a starter guy. That's not as common. That's not in Arkansas. It's not that common.
I think the question with him is, does he say, I want to stay home and just stick this out, or do I want to bounce around more?
I don't know. Yeah. I said this year, Braylon Russell, I didn't think he'd be a Razorback in 2025. And so far, I'm wrong. I mean,
I believed you for a while.
I didn't think that he would. I was surprised by that, so God only knows. And again, that's part of this revenue share stuff they claim is going to help, keep these guys around. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I have a different argument with the in-state recruiting stuff that's a little bit long form, like in terms of like big picture stuff. While you guys are right, John Haas has also made this argument in our Discord. All Arkansas players are just terrible. Just don't recruit them. The only problem
I'm not saying that.
No, but I'm saying like that is the rhetoric that's out there. I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying that is a lot of the rhetoric, either in our Discord or on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, message boards. I've seen it. I've seen the screenshots. My only pushback on that is when you go to Texas in areas where your pipeline isn't as strong as it is in Northwest Arkansas, and you swing and miss on 4, you're never going to get a 5 out of there. Or if you do, it's going to be because of money and all this stuff that we're seeing in change. And I still don't think that happens either, or the odds are still low. But if you swing and miss on those guys, if you swing and miss on a high caliber 4-star out of Texas, well, you've always, back when you were actually producing talent out of all of Little Rock and some parts of Northwest Arkansas, you could come back to your strongest pipelines in places where you have relationships that go back decades as a program. You could go to Little Rock Central or if Southside Fort Smith is pumping out a player or two. Of course, it's been a while for Fort Smith, but the River Valley, Greenwood, I mean, if you all of a sudden just neglect the state, well, then you're also neglecting your strongest pipelines. And I know that this is a different world, like money now talks. It's not necessarily about loyalty to the program, but you still have a better shot at recruiting and getting a guy on campus that's from Little Rock or Northwest Arkansas than you do some kid out of Fort Worth who has no idea who Bobby Petrino even is to begin with, right?
Right.
So you don't want to fully let go of those pipelines. That's only ever been my argument, but you guys are right.
No,
the
me
argument
out.
and hang on, let me finish. Hang on. I'm almost done.
Okay.
People in Discord have made that argument as well. My only pushback is, I hear you. You're right. Arkansas does not produce the NFL talent here is abysmal. I understand, like, we need to go to South Georgia. We need to go into Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, whatever. I get that, but you never want to sever your relationships with those schools in those areas, because believe me, I've talked to parents. It's been a while, but I've talked to some coaches. You do that, it's a bad look, and all of a sudden you don't sign those big-time receivers out of Warren, Arkansas, who have actually done some good at the program. So that's my only pushback.
Yeah, but that
to Texas, right?
That wasn't necessarily my point.
No, like I said, I wasn't just talking to you.
I know, but I want to make sure that I'm clear so that you don't in the future come back and go, well, Tim hates all Arkansas recruits.
No, I never thought that you did.
But my point is, if we miss the top 10, the difference between number 1 and number 50 in the state of Arkansas is a much smaller difference than the difference between number 1 and number 50 in Texas.
A lot of the time,
you know what I'm saying? So if you don't get the number 1 in-state recruit, but you still get the number 20 in-state recruit, that doesn't mean, oh my God, you missed the number 1 Arkansas recruit. That's it. Your program's screwed. There's still 3-star talent around the state that has come in and been productive. It's not the end of Sam's job to miss the number 1 guy.
No, and he is taking some heat. There's a lot of people that are on the other side of this that are like, you fail because you didn't get all these players. This class, you're not getting the top of the in-state class. And a lot of people will say, well, who cares? But there's the other side of that that's like, you cannot do that. That's inexcusable. And I
wonder how many of those are donors.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, your number 1 guy goes off, and let's say the number 1 recruit in Arkansas goes to Auburn. He goes to Auburn. He doesn't play, transfers out, and ends up at Alabama A&M or whatever because he wasn't getting playing time. You lost the number 1 recruit, but he wasn't effective for anybody anyway. So who cares? But if you got a good recruit out of the state, that's great. Mm-hmm. Just losing the top recruit doesn't necessarily mean your program's screwed. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I don't feel like Sam is unsuccessful because he hasn't gotten the top 5 Arkansas guys every year. I feel like he's unsuccessful because largely he's a crap coach. And I mean, I'm just being honest, but I don't fault his program because of his recruiting necessarily. I think he lacks recruiting certain positions. He hasn't emphasized things particularly well, but I don't think that has anything to do with missing top Arkansas recruits.
No, I mean, it's about swinging and missing everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
I mean, it's definitely not just Arkansas for sure. It's not good to see like Ja'Cour Smith go to Oklahoma. That's someone who I think is actually pretty damn good.
Sure.
Evan Goodwin, the tackle out of Bauxite, Arkansas. I don't know much about Bauxite, but I have talked to a couple of people and
Boondocks, bro,
who really think he could be something pretty special. And Rhett Lashley got him. So, I mean, but at the same time, Arkansas is still doing okay on the offensive line recruiting this year. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. But right now, I mean, here's your issue. Put aside the Arkansas stuff. You have 24 hard commits in this 2026 class. I mean, that's a lot of players. And I don't know the teams in front of you. They either have about that many or several fewer, and you're barely in the top 25. And when the dust settles, this is not a top 30 recruiting. No. That's where he's losing. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, it does matter. Arkansas does matter. I'm not saying it doesn't, but that's the issue. But then again, it's also
when you're failing at coaching and winning games and at recruiting, it's just it's not going to go well for you.
It's I mean, so they're It's going to be a rough. Again, this also goes back to the argument of, well, who cares anyways? These kids are going to transfer, right? So at the end of the day, I guess we're kind of arguing over. I don't know. Maybe we're kind of grasping at straws because maybe it doesn't matter. But again, I have heard the belief is the mass exodus of players should no longer be as bad. I can't confirm that. I don't know that. I'm just talking to a couple other people, one of them in the media, actually two of them in the media, who believe wholeheartedly that that is going to come to an end. I have a hard time seeing that. I think as long as the portal is there, unless these guys are under contract, I don't really know. I don't know what's going to keep them, especially if you're making a coaching change, if that happens, which I think 6 wins is going to get you a new head coach. I'm sorry. I just don't see how you keep a guy. I mean, that's at 6 wins, and his buyout, I know it changes based on the amount of wins, and I think it drops. I think it drops quite a bit, but him making a bowl game helps it maybe. I don't know, but
I think we should celebrate if you get 5 wins and still fire him, because we'll be lucky to get more than 5 wins out of this team.
Yeah,
I think he'll go out like Coach O.
Not
like,
easy.
which door you want me to go out? Yeah.
Just recruit.
I mean, this schedule's not easy.
No, it's brutal, dude. I mean, if like you said, if he goes into Notre Dame, let's say you should beat Alabama A&M. My God, you beat Arkansas State down in Little Rock. You go on the road and you beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Everyone, Lane Kiffin is the darling. He's the media darling. You go to Ole Miss, you win that game, and then you go to Memphis, who just had a really damn good year. And I like that coach, by the way. You talk about possible head coaching change right there's a guy you ought to look at. At Memphis, you win that game. You're undefeated with Notre Dame coming to Fayetteville. Can you imagine the hype? Fayetteville. I don't know that Fayetteville will have ever seen anything. Arkansas will be ranked at that point. You're definitely ranked if you're 4-0. But I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't see us getting out of Ole Miss.
Right. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I definitely don't. I don't think. I mean, I don't want to give away too much, but I don't know.
Yeah, it would be glorious.
I don't know that they're going to get the Notre Dame game unscathed. I think they're probably going to drop one.
Listen,
at minimum,
it's Arkansas State. I'm just gonna set this out here. Bad juju. I don't care. The thing is, and I agree with Frank Broyles on this 100%. We have nothing to gain from playing Arkansas State, and we have everything to lose from playing Arkansas State. And I feel like that's a trap game for us in a big way. That's a trap game for us. We may be talent-wise, top to bottom, better than them, but we've been talent-wise, top to bottom, worse than Texas and beat them before. Yeah, and Arkansas State does not actually provide any value to our schedule at all, but they'll be up for it more than probably any other team that we play. Nobody else on our schedule is looking at us and going, ooh, Arkansas, a chance to win. They're all going, ooh, Arkansas, we're going to kick their butt. Mm-hmm. But Arkansas State is going to come in. They're going to come in with, dreams of glory here, winning the state, something that matters to them, something that doesn't matter to us. That's a trap game. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to escape that game if we win it. It's not going to be a blowout like Pine Bluff was.
No, it definitely won't be.
The hell out of them.
It definitely won't.
No,
be
we're not,
great.
dude.
It's going to
be an escape.
I don't know if it might be an escape. I don't know.
Transplanted Texan. Yes. Hogs have everything to lose by playing A-State. That does include Sam. You lose to A-State, Sam gets fired walking off the field.
Pretty much.
Well, I don't know how you rebound from that. Lose to Arkansas State.
They won't go that easy.
I don't know. I mean, right now I will say I like Arkansas in this matchup, but I don't know. I'm not.
That Frank never played them on purpose because there was nothing to gain. That was his feeling. Was there was.
I have zero faith that they'll even fire Pittman this year. The way that they've drawn all this out, everybody's like, "Oh man, he'll fire him off the field, dude." They should have fired him 2 years ago, and they haven't done it. So what the hell makes everybody think it's gonna happen this year? Because the fans are pissed. Fans have been pissed,
Well, they were definitely. The belief is they're waiting on rev share to get here, and it's here. But then there's more stipulations, right? There's there's still a lot more to deal with. You're still trying to figure out how you're going to allocate these funds. And
Joey McGuire packing his bags, man.
I'm just saying, I don't think that they're going to lose Arkansas State, but knock on wood, you never know. But yeah, this is.
I didn't think we were going to lose to Liberty either.
Or Toledo or North Texas.
Look, if we were playing Arkansas State later in the season, I'd actually be more worried about it, to be honest. But with us playing them as early as we are, we're still going to be pretty healthy. If we were playing them after a run in the SEC, I'd be pretty concerned about it. So that's the same reason we lost to Liberty. KJ was so beat up, and Pittman was just like, play him anyway,
2024, Arkansas got off to a pretty good start, other than that colossal loss to Oklahoma State that let down in the second half. But they did start off 3-1. They went on the road and they did beat Auburn. But 2023, you start off, you won your first two. You beat Western Carolina and then Kent State. And then you went on a hellacious losing streak to BYU, LSU, A&M. The list goes on. 22, he got off to a 3-0 start, losing a close game to A&M. That was actually a hell of it was a fun game to watch from the outside looking in if you weren't a fan of Arkansas. And then you go back to 2021 when they start off 4-0. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I don't know what to expect at this point, but
I want to beat Texas A&M more than I want them to beat Texas.
Boy, I don't know about that. Yeah, just to get that off your back, I guess. But
just think about the amounts of ass whoop they've delivered on Arkansas.
Yeah, but think about beating potential number 1 Texas in Austin.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive game if that were to happen.
That'd be crazy.
There's about no bigger underachiever than Texas A&M, even if they beat us.
That's true.
But beating Texas at number 1.
We always get the best game of the year.
We are their game of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're their Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. Right. Alabama
what's their
A&M.
quarterback's name again?
Alabama A&M, August 30th at 3:15 p.m. That's on SEC Network. Arkansas State will be ESPN Plus or SEC Plus at 4 p.m. Ole Miss is TBD. Memphis is TBD. And then, of course, Notre Dame, we all know it's at 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC. So those are the only times we have. I think we got the SEC Media Days happening here pretty soon. So that'll be some noteworthy stuff out of that, hopefully. Arkansas's on the last day again. That's 2 years in a row. Bummer, but not surprising. Really quick. EA College Football 2.6. We are bringing the league, the online dynasty, back in Tusk Talk with Ty Discord.
Woo.
We're going to have 2 leagues, Open League and the Patreon League. I'm excited about it. But like I said earlier, Tim found a website that has all of the actual rankings. And this is pretty cool. Let me share this bad boy. I know Tim's getting it. Travis, are you going to pick this up?
I'm terrible at that game.
Oh, so you're okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
Well, you're gonna miss out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Our league last year was fun. Other than the struggles that we had with the online the online part of the game, they had so many issues at launch. Too much traffic. Here it is. Fernando Carmona at 92 overall.
Oh,
that took me by surprise. Omega Blake at 87. Taylen Green at 86. Singletary at 83. So there's a decent dip there. Not a big one, but a small gap there at 83 to 86. And then Phillip Lee, okay, at 83. Mike Washington, 83 overall. Shanks at 83. Braylon Russell at 83. And then Larry Worth, Selman Bridges, and Cam Ball, and Quincy Rhodes, and Jordan Young, and good God, so many 82 overalls. King
Do they
Walker,
have Jalen
Raylan.
Brown on there?
Yes.
Yeah. 80 overall. Jalen Brown is on there at 80 overall. Justice Boone, this is not surprising. 79, the transfer out of Florida. AJ Green, who's back at running back from Oklahoma State. Of course, we know he was with Arkansas for a little while. He's going to be a senior. 79 overall. for him. Caleb Wooden at 79. Rodney Hill at 79. A little surprised by that. And David Oakey, I don't know a ton about him. I don't know if that's adequate, if that's fair or not. Steven Dix is too low at 78, and I think Caden Kittler is too low at 78. And even Danny Saili, who had a hell of a spring camp, maybe the most improved player in spring camp, and they've got him at 78. Ismail,
maybe it's because nobody knows what our players are actually doing.
Right. Ian Jaffrard at 77 and Charlie Collins at 77. Rohan Jones, the tight end. This is, again, another one that's, I think, too low. Oh, Lord, I went backwards there. I think Rohan Jones is going to be – I think he's going to be a workhorse in this offense, honestly. I don't – with Platt, the tight end from A&M, was he on there? Tim, did you see Platt on here?
Just a second. Because I was just looking at tight ends. Hold on. Click that back on here. Platt is at 75 overall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
So I passed him.
He'd be 90 if he was on Texas A&M still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'd have him at like 88 or some nonsense. 75 overall. And the one that surprised me was Robinson, the left tackle out of Georgia Tech. I'm surprised they have him as low as they have him. 81 overall. That's not terrible. I mean, this is a dude at Georgia Tech last year that didn't give up a single sack. His pass grade on PFF is fantastic. Run grade was kind of average. Wasn't like horrible, but it was average. But this is a guy.
Sorry, we talked about this, though. If you actually click on his name, you can look at him. They gave him great pass blocking.
Yeah, they did.
They gave him crap run blocking. So if they see him run block at all, he'll come up over the season.
81 overall. I maybe they will. I didn't see them do no Razorback last year that I saw got a bump.
He should. They ranked his run blocking at a 70 overall, which is abnormally low for an offensive lineman.
Well, starting SEC one for sure.
Yeah, it won't take much for them to bump him up. They do adjust the ratings on performance. All we have to do is run the ball thumb, and they'll bump him up. Because they gave him abnormally low run blocking for a lineman.
His pass block is 87.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is pretty good.
Pass block power is 89. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I still think he should have been higher. I probably would have had him at about 84. But again, we're kind of splitting hairs. It's just 3 points there. But are you looking at this? And Travis, I know you're probably driving, but just based on what you've heard from us, like Carmona's 92, Omega Blake, the transfer, who's also a senior, got an 87 overall rating. Taylen Green, 86. Any of that surprise you at all? I mean, I know you're not real big into this game, but or did we lose him? We lost him, didn't we? What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, he's gone. I'm not surprised that some of the rankings, because we have a lot of unknowns. I do hope that we perform and that they bring some of the ratings up. But no, we have so many unknowns, an entire wide receiver core that's unknown. Yeah, they performed last year, but it wasn't this system. It wasn't this quarterback.
Yeah.
An offensive line that's completely retooled, basically, minus Carmona. And I think they just gave him a 92 to give him a badass ranking for stomping on that guy. So they gave him a 92, but everybody else is kind of unknown in this system with this team. So I don't know that everything they ranked here is fair, but they don't really watch spring practice to do rankings. They look at last year's stats. So I feel like there's definitely some room for them to improve the ratings over time.
Yeah. Robinson should go up. Xavier, sorry, Megan pointed out 81 overall seems low. That is low.
It is. But if you look at it, like if you choose that drop down and look at the linebackers, we don't have a good linebacker besides him.
According to them.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'm saying on here, we're going to have somebody who outperforms these ratings. These ratings are terrible for this linebacker core.
I think they're not great for the offensive line either. I still think
the offensive line is pretty bad. But again, it's all retooled. It's hard to say how they're going to perform in the system that we're putting them in.
Soria 81, Shaw 74. Oh, golly. Yeah, Shaw's too low too. I think I'd probably put Shaw closer to 80. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's all subjective. I mean, it is what it is, just a video game, but kind of does. I used to always use NCAA as like a measuring stick for like just what to expect from Arkansas football to a degree. Not that it was ever super accurate, but sometimes you'd be surprised, like when you've got a bunch of running backs that are all in their 90s and high 80s, and what do you know, it's one of the best rushing offenses in the country. It seemed pretty reflective of reality for some of those Darren McFadden, Felix Jones, Hillis years there. But yeah, you're right. A lot of unknowns, a lot of variables here. You don't know a lot about these receivers and those defensive backs too. So many new faces in the secondary.
Yeah, I'm surprised the secondary is really as high as it is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Singletary with a 83 overall. Larry Worth, who's going to get moved around a little bit, but they got him at 82. Bridges at 82, which is a little surprising because he's a sophomore and he didn't get a ton of love last year. Didn't get a lot of playing time. Young at 82, Walker 82, and Scandrett, who I'm surprised by this too. Scandrett with an 81. That's actually higher than I thought they'd give him. Miguel Mitchell 76, potential starter right there. So yeah, I mean, overall, the secondary could be worse. I'll say that. I think last year it was worse.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
So
if last year was worse. Again, though, a lot of unproven here, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited. Are you getting the early edition? You gonna pay $100?
No way. I think it's overpriced at 63. I'm not paying the 100 for it for sure.
I'm probably going to do it just so I could stream it. Just so I could stream it on the 7th. I'm probably going to buy it. We're going to have a garage sale. And I told my wife that's how I'm going to justify the purchase. I've got a drone back here that I've only used. It's got like 10 minutes of flight time. I'm going to post that for like $100. See what I get.
Nice. Very nice.
I appreciate everyone for being here. Shout out to Travis who was here for a little while. Didn't have to be. He wasn't going to be here tonight, but that was cool he stopped by. Patreon supporters. I don't know if you could still sign up and be eligible for the month of June or not. Might be worth a shot. But we're gonna spin the wheel for who the winners are. Should do it on the 5th of July. And again, that's some pretty big cards for the $8 folks. Kevin Copps, pretty nice foil card there. Dennis Johnson for the legendary status folks. Upside down. Dennis Johnson autographed. Kobe Hamilton. This is probably one of the coolest. This is a cool card. It's the crown card, and the crown's like it's a reflective blue. We had another one that was silver, and this is 5 of 5. This is a pretty cool card.
I want that one.
That's autographed. And then Tim, you and I going back to our childhood.
Yes, sir.
Corliss Williamson. Gold pin autograph, dude. So you got to be legendary status for a shot at winning one of those 4 cards. So again, need to be legendary status for the autographed cards. All right. Again, appreciate Tim. Thank you for taking a little time out of your evening. I know you're a busy guy, and appreciate everyone for being here and chat. Again, if you're here after the fact, please, if you've got any questions or comments, fire away down below in the comment section. And I guess that's it. Tim, do you want to plug your podcast really quick?
I mean, I will always take a chance to plug it. We actually have an episode coming out. I've got to leave this, go watch the final 3 episodes of Ironheart tonight. I'll tell you guys, I had very low expectations, and the first episode is awful. And then after that, they get better and better from episode 2 and episode 3. So we're going to watch the last 3 tonight and then cover Ironheart, the series, on Saturday, I think this week. That's Capes, Cowls, and Conversations on YouTube. It's actually just youtube.com/Capes, Cowls, and Conversations. Lost my breath there for a second. We're covering all things Marvel and DC related. Superman's coming up. I actually have a pre-screening on July 8th, so that's kind of cool. And we'll be talking about Superman and Fantastic Four and all the things going this summer. So join us over there.
Awesome. Yeah, go check them out. We'll try to leave a link down below, and I'll make sure next time Tim will be able to do that so he can leave links. But again, hey, we just got a legendary status member. Shout out to King Command, who just joined Tusk Talk with Ty legendary status while we're live. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate that.
Corliss card.
Well, he does. I don't know. Again, I don't know if you sign up today if you're going to be eligible or not. Patreon's kind of weird about that. It might count towards the month. It might not. But the month of July, we're going to have some awesome autographed cards as well. So,
nice.
we do it every month. 3 legendary status autographed cards. So anyways, that is it. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Questions if you've got them down below in the comment section. Check out all the links. Shout out to everyone that was here, and again, you that's here live, and the people who are watching after the fact. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.